Is there going to be a second season for She-Hulk? Should you be looking in your back bins for She-Hulk #1? Find out here on the Drop List today. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains. If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is the Princess, the Royal Highness, looking very lovely today, just like usual. Make sure to do that princess wave, and do it too, and that didn't make any sense. I don't respect, and then there's the Coco dog.
Oh, yes, the Coco is here. All right, guys. Welcome back on this awesome Monday, where, what are we doing every Monday, Zach?
We do the drop list.
We report the comics that have dropped in price from 1 year ago, that were trending, that were hot, that were speculated on, that people were looking for high and low and under rocks and in garbage cans.
Right.
Sometimes I look for comics in garbage cans.
Yeah, I've heard of...
They yell at me, though, when I do.
Yeah, I've heard someone found an Action 1 in a garbage can.
It can happen, and sometimes those books end up on our drop list if they have decreased in value from 1 year ago. And we like to report those quote-unquote gains for you so you can make some educated decisions. You know what also you can make an educated decision on?
On this drink here, because we reviewed drinks, just one drink for like 2 seconds. This is a strawberry lemon prebiotic soda. It's for a healthy tummy, guys.
It's not a probiotic, it's a prebiotic.
Prebiotic. So you're pre.
Before you get biotic, you gotta get pre.
It says prebiotic.
Yeah.
Maybe spelled wrong.
Yeah, it's the poppy.
Yeah. I want to have a healthy tummy. Okay, let's get into this, guys.
Sponsored by Poppy.
Poppy? Who's Poppy?
That one. That's a strawberry poppy.
Wow, that's actually really
Gives
good.
Gives you nice gut health so that everything passes.
Oh, there
through
is Poppy. It's right there.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Poppy. Not sponsored.
You know what else will give you a nice gut health?
Hanging out with us on Whatnot.
Yeah, your stomach will feel really good after you made some purchases from us on Whatnot every Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Adam and Zach on the epic back wall of games where we give away a slab every show, and everything starts at $1 and is 30-second auctions. It's also $1 and 30-second auctions on the Princess's show at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Where she also has a wheel of games and likes to give out slabs as well, sometimes even more than one. Next week's giveaway, Strange Academy 1. All right, let's get back to the games, to the comics, what y'all came here to see. So, a lot of times this happens on the drop list where a Disney Plus show came out a year ago, and that kind of leads us down a little bit of a rabbit hole on certain drop lists. So this list in particular might be a little Hulk heavy. She-Hulk, that is, as well as other things, but just a fair warning. But the first book on the list is a Hulk book, and it's $340.
Massive.
Yeah, massive Hulk book.
McFarlane.
1988, Todd McFarlane, Peter David, iconic Todd the God cover. I think this has been voted on by quite a few people as possibly the best cover of all time. I'm sure everybody has different opinions on that, but some people think it's the best cover of all time. It's definitely up there for me. If not the best, it's one of the best on my list. And yeah, I mean, this book spiked last year with a lot of stuff going on. Definitely we got to see Hulk come back in She-Hulk, and we didn't know how big of a role he was going to play. Played a pretty good role. Did some training of She-Hulk in the beginning. We also had a lot of Deadpool 3 spec with for this book, you got Wolverine on the cover as well. So it's also a great Wolverine cover. You got Hugh Jackman saying he's going to reprise his role in Deadpool 3, which is going to be pretty amazing. And just stuff to look out for with that movie. We got the writer's strike going on right now. So while they're making that, there's a lot of, they can't add any additional writing to Deadpool 3, which I think will be really weird with Ryan Reynolds not be able to ad-lib some of his lines, which could be kind of crazy. Just some crazy stuff to look out for. But, this is an awesome book, a great book. I know when we started getting back into comics about 4 or 5 years ago, we were looking at this as about a $50 book raw. It's not a $50 book raw at all anymore. No. And some of the good ones to look out for, newsstand copy, way above double. And surprisingly enough, there's a Mark Jeweler in this book, which would be pretty amazing to find. But Zach will give you the numbers on this sucker in a 9.8.
All right, prices a year ago for a CGC 9.8 for this Hulk smashing and Wolverine slicing book was $1,915. Pretty expensive for this book. Now it's $1,680. Had a slight jump recently for obvious reasons. But it was in this year time period, it was as low as $1,145. Should have bought it. And as high as 3,500.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Average sale is 1,701. It's about a 12% drop. I would keep an eye out for this book in the wild, a raw copy, a nice copy. You'll be able to find one. I guarantee it. We have found multiple. So that's pretty cool. And this book is always going to be a classic cover. It's always going to be going up in price on average. So if you get this book in a 9.8, definitely not going to be mad at you. You might want to wait, but you might not want to wait at the same time. This book could go either way. This book is always going to go up.
Yeah, it's kind of back on the rise even right now. I think it was recently just on the trending list last week as well as a year ago. But it is lower in price than it was a year ago, which is why it's number 5 on the list.
Yes.
I bet you're all wondering what number 4 on the list is, and it happens to be a She-Hulk book, but the sensational version, that is. Sensational She-Hulk number 1 from 1989. John Byrne doing the artwork as well as writing the story. This is just a really cool book overall. It's the second ongoing series for She-Hulk. It's not a major key other than that, just a great cover overall. It actually has a really cool thing, if Zach can read the cover there for you, for the X-Men part. Right? Since he's a big giant-sized X-Men fan, she actually has some words of wisdom for you.
Okay, now this is your second chance. If you don't buy my book this time, I'm going to come to your house and rip up all your X-Men. You gotta buy this book, guys.
So she actually threatens you that if you don't buy this new series, because Savage She-Hulk actually got canceled, and Sensational, and I think, and, not for everybody, but in my opinion, is definitely her quintessential run. That has like the best keys, the best covers,
the look,
the best story. I think they really hit their stride when they got to Sensational. They were a little confused during Savage, but I think Sensational is definitely the best run. And happens at the end, the very last book is almost an identical cover to this one, and she lets you know she will be coming over to your house to tear up your giant-size X-Men number 1. So be on the lookout for that, because it could happen. Another weird thing is actually learned from Russ over at Milky Comics that he's never seen a non-newsstand copy of this as well. I did some research. I could not find any non-newsstand copies as well. Even on Go Collect, there's not even a section for a direct edition copy, which I thought was interesting. Like,
yes.
Where did they not sell any of this direct edition?
They must not have trusted it, because Savage She-Hulk probably did so bad. Like, yeah, we're not ordering it. So you had to order it either on a newsstand or you had to order it to what? That's how it works.
Yeah. So definitely, if you have a direct edition, send us some pictures. I'd love to see it. I don't think there is one out there.
Or
but
send us the book.
You never know. Yeah. Or yeah, right. It'd be pretty crazy. All right, Zach. But what are the numbers on this sensational book?
So, price a year ago for the sensational sexy cover was $300 for a CGC 9.8. Now it's $165. Pretty reasonable. It's been as low as $78. What a bargain. And as high as $332. So basically it was at the height exactly 1 year ago. Average sales $188. It's a 45% drop. This is a very cool book. You probably don't need it in a 9.8, but it looks really nice in a 9.8. So I'm kind of fighting myself about this. If I find a 9.8 for a good deal, I'm probably going to buy it. Yeah, this is a fantastic book. There's really not a first appearance in there from what I could see. So I'd probably go after, if you really like She-Hulk, you'd probably go after the Savage instead. Go Savage, not Sensational.
It was kind of cool book though, because it didn't have a lot of value for a long time, and as She-Hulk started to pop up, this book kind of went along with it. All of a sudden, got really expensive just by itself, and people just appreciate it for what it was. And it's gone down, but it hasn't gone back down to what it was.
Right.
It was almost like under a $10 book for a long time.
Right. I'm just saying for collectability and spec wise.
Oh, definitely.
But the story really fills out, like Adam said, in the sensational run, whereas Savage they tried to make her more savage. And they made her more sensational in this run.
Yeah, more sensational. Yeah, a little bit of that. All right, there is one book on the list this week that doesn't have anything to do with She-Hulk, and we decided to report on it because it is Amazing Spider-Man 88, and not that one, but the one from 2022. Actually came out in February of 2022. Oh. This is the Art Adams cover and Zeb Wells' story on this book. Okay. And first appearance of Queen Goblin, Ashley Karafka. It's a hard name to say. She's actually a clone, which is pretty cool. Not to be mistaken with the Goblin Queen. It's the Queen Goblin. It's kind of strange they went with that whole thing. But this was like a good time. 2022, the early part all the way up until about like April or so, there was a lot of really good first appearances that came out from Marvel. A lot of books popping off, and this was one of them. Did really, really well right out the gate. It was like a $15 average sale.
Oh, wow.
Fresh right out of there. And kind of a cool backstory. She was actually a character that worked for Norman Osborn, and then they ended up getting cloned by the Jackal, and then so she was a clone, then got kind of picked up by the Beyond Corporation, which was kind of leading this whole story, and they were having her be Ben Reilly's psychiatrist, like at the same time, and she was actually kind of good, like trying to help Ben, even though she was working for the Beyond Corporation. Well, as you guys know, Norman Osborn got blasted by Sin Eater with that shotgun, and it took away all his sins, and he became a good person. Well, where'd all those sins go? Well, they kind of put him aside, and they shoved them all into Ashley, who then turned into the Queen Goblin, and that's why she looks like that. She basically has all the crap left over from Norman Osborn, and she keeps trying to chase him around, like, take this back, and he's like, no, I'm good now. You keep that stuff. I don't want that anymore.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, so she showed up a couple more times. I think she's a really cool character. I actually really like her. She teamed up with Chasm at one point later on down the road. They gave her this really cool mace that's like on fire, and she's a clone, so that's cool. That's cool. I think she has some longevity, so look out for the Queen Goblin. Some books that are notable. There's a 238 homage by Tyler Kirkham for this book, which has a little bit of value to it, and there's a Virgin SheHulk Lee that's pretty beautiful as well, that also has some value. So I don't know. Might have some legs. Zach will have to tell you. I know the legs look nice on the cover, though.
Well, the Goblin Queen has been gobbling up all those losses, guys. Prices a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $95. Now it's $49. Pretty cheap. It's been as low as $23 and as high as $110. Average sale is $57. It's a 48% drop. I'd be, gobbling it all out of the way of this book, honestly, for at least this cover. The other cover, I've seen some really nice covers for the 88, but I do not like this character. I don't. But at the same time, I can understand why people do like this character. I just think it's like a rewashing of another character or two characters. Like they even rewashed the names. They just put in different order. Queen Goblin, Goblin Queen. It irritates me. Sorry. I don't recommend this book, but it's like probably a really good character. So if you like the character,
it's like backpedaling.
I'm just saying.
I haven't read this, but I don't recommend it.
It just makes me angry. I hear the synopsis about it, like this. I don't know. I don't like that character. Just off I don't know. Maybe I should read it first and make extra judgments. But as of right now, the unread, uneducated Zach says it's a no-go.
There you go.
But if you get it,
that's
good.
Go for it. Art Adams. All right, next on the list, number 2 on the drop list. We're almost number 1. Is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 3 from 1984. Mike Zeck and Jim Shooter. Now, we had a bunch of Secret Wars on last week's drop list, and made it again. This is first appearance of Volcana and the second Titania. Mary McPherson. And if you guys didn't know, when the whole Beyonder gathered up all the villains and heroes and put them together, Dr. Doom created 2 new villains to help him out. And one of them was Titania, the other one was Volcania. And Titania became one of She-Hulk's classic villains, and even fights her to this day. I think they're in a secret fight club, but we're not supposed to talk about that fight club. It does happen, though. But we did see Titania show up on the Disney Plus show She-Hulk Attorney at Law, and there's a lot of spec. Jamila Jamil was playing her, and overall was okay. I kind of thought she'd be a little more of like a darker side villain and a little less of a goofy villain going on, because didn't she like stealing her name for like the perfume line, and she didn't like that, so then they kind of get into like a court battle and they decided to duke it out in court. Kind of cool, but you know how that goes. She did not die in the series, so we may see her again in the future. I don't know. I think she looked good as Titania.
Yeah,
I just didn't know if the storyline quite made like that much sense, but you never know. But may have landed itself on our drop list. This book was expensive for a little while, like almost $100 raw in a high grade copy. Not so much these days anymore. Yeah.
Price a year ago, or I should say, a year ago, this book was in a good place, and now it's in the lost place. Ha! You don't get it? She was in the good place.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Prices a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $244. Pretty nice. Now it's $90. I'm thinking about
under $100.
Under $100. It's been low as $69 and as high as $265. Average sales $132. It's a 63% drop. This book, guys, might be the deal of the day, because it not just has one first appearance, it has two first appearances. Volcana could be a really big character later on. They're probably going to have her in something pretty soon. I mean, there's going to be a Secret Wars movie. It's not going to be related too much to the Secret Wars, from what I hear, but I would think, just for the funs of it, because the character's so cool, I would think they would add Volcana into it. And maybe bring back Titania. It's like, hey, what? Dude, what are you bringing me here for? The Secret War? And then maybe take her out. Who knows? But yeah, I think this one, pretty much any book from Secret War run, if you can get it for under $100, CGC 9.8, you probably should do it. It's an easy run to fill up. So yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, you won't be mad if you have that book on a 9.8.
I won't be mad. You won't be mad. Everybody will be happy.
And last but not least, you guessed it, what made #1 drop list book, Savage She-Hulk, #1 from 1980, which is the #1 book on the list. Believe it or not, Stan Lee wrote this story and John Buscema did the cover. This is first appearance of Jennifer Walters, the She-Hulk, the cousin of Bruce Banner, the Hulk, and just like in the TV show, she received her powers from a blood transfusion from the Hulk, which happened pretty similar. And she was played in the show by Tatiana Maslany, who is Zach will tell you famous from Orphan Black. And overall, like my thoughts on the show. There's some parts I really liked about the show. I thought, that's kind of the goofy nature that Sensational She-Hulk is, which I think was very similar to what the show was. So most of the episodes I was really, really happy with. They were goofy, but you kind of knew that going into it. She's doing the court drama. That was kind of fun. We got Daredevil out of this show, guys. Don't forget that. I mean, kind of came back in Spider-Man No Way Home, but definitely made his mark in the sand, or in She-Hulk in this show, which was awesome. The only thing I didn't care for was the last episode. I thought that was a little bit weird, where they're like, here's this epic fight. Oh, it never really happened. Then, I don't know, got all like fourth wall breaking, which kind of happens. But I don't know. That's kind of our topic. Will there be a She-Hulk season 2? Will she just be added into the West Coast Avengers or the regular Avengers? Will she just pop up somewhere else? I hope we see her again. Overall, I know some of the CGI was a little bit janky in this show. A lot. I don't understand when she was in the She-Hulk body, that a lot of her outfits were really sloppy. I don't know if that was on purpose. She kept wearing like the men's suits that were like all loose and baggy, and then just weird. And then like Tatiana's hair was a little bit strange, when she was in the regular form. I know Zach didn't care for that much. He was like, what's with hair? But I think hopefully they can correct some stuff and maybe do a season 2. I would definitely watch it if they did a season 2 again on this show. So
just no Twilight endings. Please.
Yeah, that was a Twilight ending. That was a Twilight ending. Yeah. Damn it. But on a side note for this book, guys, I know this book has had a lot of people thinking like this was a really good investment book, and a lot of people might tell you it's not really, because there's actually like 13,500 copies graded at CGC, and like 10,000 of them are graded above a 9.0. So that's like really, most of them are really high grade. It's actually labeled on the cover, collector's item issue, like on the cover, which tells you, they're like telling those people back in 1980, when you get this book, put it in a bag and board, don't read it, set it aside, save it for one day when it's worth a lot of money. And that's why there's so many of these copies in high grade, and why they're not worth as much as they should be, because they basically told everybody that. Which is why back in like the 90s, when all this stuff happened again, every book that came out, they're like, collector's edition, collector's item.
You'll need this book.
Yeah, and all of us got tricked, and now we have all these copies. And it's still a great book. I love the book. I love the cover, but that's one of the reasons why it has not reached some of the status of the other 80s books that came out in the 80s that are much, much more valuable than She-Hulk #1.
That's true. Oh, did you ever talk about the Bionic Woman part of this? Why they made it?
No, I did not.
Well, they made the She-Hulk because they had to make it because the Bionic Man did so good, and then they were going to make the Bionic Woman. So they wanted to get the rights for the She-Hulk before someone else got the rights for a She-Hulk. So they had to make the She-Hulk so they could actually make toys off of it and all that. And they had claimed the right. Marvel would claim the rights, because those were the two shows that were really popular about around that time. So it just made obvious sense.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But let's get to the numbers. This is the book #1. The biggest drop book on the list. Coco said.
Make it drop. This book had a family, but now it's been orphaned a year ago. A year ago, I had a family, and now it's been orphaned. Prices a year ago for a CGC 9.8. I just wanted to say it right. Say it right.
Okay.
These guys judge me. For CGC 9.8 was $900. That's very expensive. Now, last sale, $305. Prices a year are. It's been as low as $276 and as high as $2,307. Someone went bonkers on this book. Average sale is $635. It's a 66% drop. This is a pretty good price for this book. I mean, that was about before she became popular. That was about the price of a 9.8. 305, maybe a little bit lower than that. Yeah, so this book is priced pretty well at this point. Now, like Adam said, this book has been printed like crazy, and there's a lot of books on the census for this one. So it's kind of like, should I? It's a first appearance in Origin. If you can get it for $300 or maybe even a little less than that, I think it would be a good buy. I think this is a great character to invest in. It might not have as big as gain as the first appearance of the Hulk, but this is the first appearance of the She-Hulk. So I think everybody would be pretty happy with your purchase if you got 9.8. I think it would be a nice book. And I think the pick of the day should be...
Number one pick of the day.
Price should be Savage She-Hulk, but the best price to get, bargain, is the Secret Wars 3.
ASM 88?
No, you already heard my unwarranted opinion on that.
So the pick of the day is Secret Wars 3?
Secret Wars 3 for the price, and then Savage She-Hulk 1 probably would be the pick of the day.
For the love?
I think for the love.
You get 2 picks for the price of 1, guys. 2 picks for the price of 1.
Can't find that anywhere else.
Yeah, and if you like getting 2 picks every week for the price of 1, all you gotta do is help us out by crushing that like button, hitting that subscribe button, leaving a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the She-Hulk Attorney at Law TV show on Disney+. Whether you watched it, whether you enjoyed it, whether you hope there's a second season. You never know. I'm not too judgmental. And hit that notification bell, because this week we will not be going live on Wednesday, so we will see you the week after that on Wednesday. We might have a CGC unboxing, though, a secret CGC unboxing for Saturday, so keep your ear to the ground for that. Might be an exciting Silver Age one. And Zach, anything else?
Yeah, guess sure. How you do that is you have to be a dude that has a gold hand or a hand that can turn things to gold. Your Midas, you have the Midas touch. But also remember, don't touch it too much, because then you become gold member if you touch it too much. You know what I'm talking about. But you know, it'd be cool to have that power. I just make my whole house gold and just, all right, I need to upgrade. Take some parts out, wear the glove, and then turn it into your local silver and gold place. Get the money gains. Yeah, but don't touch it too much. That could be bad. Don't do it. That's how you get those Midas gains.
All right, guys. Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Don't be a gold member and get those gains.
Get 'em. A smelting accident.
Oh, unfortunate smelt.